This is just a test for me, basically. Today we're going to be talking about the mechanism of strengthening in metals. At a basic level, metals deform plastically when dislocations move throughout the crystal lattice. So in turn, if you want to make a metal stronger, the main goal is to make dislocations harder to move throughout your material, meaning that they are made up of small crystals called grains. Adjacent grains have different crystallographic orientation, and where they meet is called a grain boundary. During plastic deformation, dislocations have to move across these grain boundaries, which act as a barrier to dislocation motion. Grain boundaries block dislocation for two main reasons. First, when a dislocation tries to move from one grain to another, it has to change directions because of its neighboring crystal having slightly different orientation. Second, grain boundaries contain atomic disorders, so a slip plane does not line up smoothly. Because of this, dislocations often pile up at grain boundaries, creating local stress concentrations. When a metal has smaller grains, it has more grain boundary area to block dislocations. As a result, fine-grained metals are stronger and harder than coarse-grained metals. This relationship between yield strength and grain size is described perfectly by the Hall-Peck relationship. Another important strengthening mechanism is solid solution strengthening. Pure metals are generally softer than their partnering alloys. When impurities are added to a metal, they occupy substitutional or interstitial positions in a lattice. Because of these atoms are different sized than the host atom, they create lattice strains. These fields can interact with dislocations and restrict their motion, meaning higher applied stress is required to initiate a continued plastic deformation. Okay, so overall, what are the takeaways? To summarize, strengthening mechanism in metals work by limiting dislocation motion. Reducing grain size increases strength and toughness by increasing grain boundary area, while solid solution strengthening increases strength through lattice strain caused by impurity atoms, and this was the interstitial and the substitutional atoms. Oftentimes in practice, engineers often combine these mechanisms to design metals with desired balance of strength and ductility. Thank you so much.